Hey everybody, welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In this forecast, we're going to be covering your short-term weather forecasts across the United States. We're going to be looking at temperatures and your precipitation over the next few days and look at your long-range forecast heading into the middle of October. We're going to look at the tropical weather update at the end, so stick around. We're going to be updating you on the latest track of Humberto and Imelda. We're also going to be looking at the East Pacific side and some interesting things that are developing over there as well. So if you do enjoy my videos, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We do daily weather forecasts here. Turn on the post notification bell so you are notified for future videos and live streams we do here on the channel. Like the video if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. I definitely appreciate that as well. So without further ado, let's look at our temperature anomalies for the week ahead going through Sunday, October 5th. And the most above normal is in fact expected across the northern half of the United States up here into the upper Midwest, really centered on Minnesota, where we could easily be 20-25 degrees above normal here heading through the rest of this week and straight into the weekend. So high temperatures this afternoon are going to be into the middle and upper 80s here, especially from the Illinois Valley all the way down the Mississippi River Valley here and towards coastal Texas, even getting into the low and mid 90s as we go into this afternoon. Going into the day on Wednesday, I think it's another pretty warm day across the central United States. More 80s, more 90s the further south you go. A little bit cooler over here into the Northeast, into portions of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York, cooling off with our temperatures down there into the 50s and low 60s. So a refreshing start to October. We'll be slowly warming those temperatures up, though, into the Northeast into the 60s by Thursday, 90s, possibly all the way up into Minnesota and South Dakota as we go into Thursday, possibly a couple record highs up there by the end of the week. Widespread record highs into the upper Midwest with low 90s by Friday, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th, and then as we go into Sunday, October 5th, we're going to see a cool front come through and knock those temperatures down. So just as we're seeing the warmer air begin to build as we go through later on this week, our low temperatures are going to start to warm up as well. Already seeing those lows into the low 60s, even mid 60s at times, all the way up here into the urban heat island of the Twin Cities in Minneapolis and St. Paul to start your Wednesday. And then that'll continue through the week. Watch as we get to Friday morning. We got some widespread record warm lows into the mid 60s up here into South Dakota, into Minnesota as we go into Friday morning. Saturday morning, we could actually see a low of 70 up here into the Minneapolis area going into Saturday morning. And that could carry over even into Sunday. Maybe not 70, but 68, still pretty warm to start your Sunday, especially if you're heading out to any church services. Now, I did want to touch on the Northeast. Over the next few days, we're going to see some cooler mornings over here, where we could be dealing with some frosts and possibly even some freezes here. As we go into tomorrow morning, we're going to see some upper 30s, even mid 30s potentially in the valleys over there and towards Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York. Possibly upper 20s into upstate New York as we go into Thursday morning. Friday and Saturday morning, we're going to start to warm things back up. So I think by the time we get to later on in the week and into the weekend for your morning lows are going to be more in the 40s over there into the Northeast here and warming up. Now, as far as thunderstorms are forecast across the United States, and we're not seeing them really across a large chunk of the East for today, and we're really not seeing them across the entirety of the U.S. very much as we go into tomorrow on the 1st of October or the Thursday, 2nd of October either. So looking here, we're going to start in the east. We'll go to the central U.S. and then the western U.S. after that. I do apologize again with my voice. I am battling a cold here, but we are seeing some tropical influence with the cloud cover and some precipitation from Imelda pushing up there into the mid-Atlantic as we go into this afternoon. Going to be very light moisture and a lot of cloud cover. So kind of a gray day across portions of the mid-Atlantic coastline down there into the Carolinas. And then as we go into the day on Wednesday, we're going to peel away the cloud cover here from morning into the afternoon. I think we'll see a mix of sun and clouds as we go into the afternoon there across the mid-Atlantic down into the southeast. The northeast, though, should see plenty of sunshine as we go through the day on Wednesday. Cloud cover starting to overspread the Ohio Valley as we go into Wednesday afternoon as some thicker cloud cover from the Midwest overspreads your airspace. We're talking about you there in Indianapolis, Detroit, and Cincinnati. Don't be surprised to see a mostly cloudy sky heading home from work as we go into Wednesday evening. Central United States here this afternoon, we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds across the Midwest, all the way down the Mississippi Valley. Plenty of sunshine, though, for places like Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Amarillo, where we're going to be baking in the heat as we go into this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine down there. That means the drought will be expanding. Starting off the day on Wednesday, plenty of cloud cover to start across the northern United States, into the northern plains and into the Midwest. So we're going to see a lot more clouds than clearing. And we're going to start clear down there in Dallas as we go into Wednesday morning, and we're going to end sunny. So we're going to see sun-splashed skies, wall-to-wall sunshine from Tulsa down there into Oklahoma City, Dallas, even into Shreveport as we go into Wednesday. A couple of temps, though, a few sprinkles or showers up there into the upper Midwest, though. I think the drier air will rule the roost as we go into the afternoon. A lot of this won't even be hitting the ground. That's what they call virga, where the precipitation goes down from the cloud cover but dries up before it evaporates before hitting the ground. Western United States, this is not virga, this is actually precipitation hitting the ground, and we're going to see some showers and storms overspreading the Pacific Northwest as soon as this afternoon and this evening. Seattle down to Portland, Eugene, and Medford, even as far south as Northern California, seeing some rainfall, some showers and storms also overspreading Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and even western Colorado as we go into this evening. And then we're going to see the coverage start to wind down as we go into late this evening and into the early morning hours on Wednesday. And then once we go into Wednesday, just more showers and storms really for the Pacific Northwest as we go through the day there on Wednesday. Overall rainfall totals going through 7 a.m. on Sunday, October 5th, are really from the Pacific Northwest into the northern plains, where there could be a few spots getting upwards to an inch of rainfall. Very dry, though, from Texas up through the Midwest and Illinois Valley, including Illinois, all the way over there through the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast, and plenty of sunshine there as well, with some cloud cover mixed in at times throughout the week. Now, as we go through next week, Monday, October 6th through Friday, October 10th, a ridge of high pressure is going to be building across the central and eastern United States, and that will keep our warmer temperatures going as we go into next week. I think we're going to continue to see these 70s and 80s, even into the second week of October. And so if you're looking for any pumpkin spice type weather, well, I think we're going to have to hold off on that here, even as we go into the second week of October. And it's also going to be a drier signal as well, with the drought feedback across the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. I think we're really going to continue to see drier weather more than wetter weather as we go into the second week of October. Doesn't mean it's going to be bone dry. There could be some rain opportunities, but I think drier than normal there across the Mississippi River on east. Unless you're in the southeast coast, we could still have some remnant moisture from the tropics. Although we are watching a tropical signal here in the East Pacific we'll talk about that could bring some moisture to the desert Southwest as we go into next week. Let's talk about the tropics here right now. As far as the Atlantic is concerned, we got Hurricane Humberto and Hurricane Imelda very close in proximity there, just off the southeast coast of the United States, and also closing in on Bermuda. Let's look here at Hurricane Humberto, Category 1 hurricane, maximum sustained winds 80 miles an hour, moving north-northwest at 18 miles per hour. So this thing's cruising. It's going to go north of Bermuda, but it still could impact Bermuda as far as rip current risk and rough surf over the next few days. Here is Hurricane Imelda's track. It's likely to continue to be a hurricane all the way through Thursday afternoon, as that will be racing off to the north and east. There are hurricane warnings, though, up for Bermuda. I think, if anything, Imelda will be close enough to cause some direct impacts to Bermuda, especially once we get to Wednesday evening there as we go into the middle of the week. So let's here forecast these two systems, both of these hurricanes. As we go through the rest of this week, we're going to see Imelda especially closing in with a direct impact on the island of Bermuda. That's why we do have hurricane warnings up for Bermuda, so watching out for some strong winds there, some rough surf, even a little bit of a rip current risk and some storm surge. So be keeping an eye on that as we go through Wednesday. Then that will peel off quickly into the North Atlantic and be a distant memory as we go towards the weekend. And looking at anything that is behind Imelda and Humberto, I really feel that there isn't a lot of active weather in the Atlantic past that until we get to really maybe next week. There could be a tropical wave that could have attempts coming off of the coast of Africa into the main development region again, maybe some attempts off the southeast coast as well, but right now it is too far to see. That is a week out at this point. This is next Tuesday, October 7th. Now looking here at the East Pacific, the East Pacific is a little bit busy. We got Tropical Storm Octave down here We also have a 70% chance of a developing system, and this is one of interest here for the southwest United States, or really the central U.S. in general, that one that has a 70% chance development. And the reason being is because, watch, as we go through a week, we're going to see that really start to wind up and get organized here according to the European model by the weekend, by Sunday, October 5th, and then that's going to possibly wind up into quite a powerful system, quite a hurricane, as we go into a week from today, perhaps closing in on the Baja of California, again, according to the European model. And then once we get into the later portion of next week, if this is correct, could be spreading some moisture and heavy moisture up into areas there of Arizona and New Mexico and northwest Mexico. So even the Phoenix area, Albuquerque, Santa Fe could be getting some pretty good moisture as we go into later next week if this came to fruition. Now, the GFS, in contrast, is actually a lot more disorganized with it at first. Does try attempts at getting pretty strong, but it does still spread moisture up, though, into the United States regardless with these recurving systems in the East Pacific. And beyond that, we're seeing that system really starting to verify here on the ensemble guidance. You can see there's a lot of members on here that are showing this system coming to fruition closer to the Baja of California and west coast of Mexico once we get from a week from today. So this is next Tuesday, October 7th, next Wednesday, October 8th. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. Overall, here is the European model as we get towards that later in that second week of October, towards the mid-month period. With the recurving of those tropical systems, whatever comes from that in the East Pacific, we could have a lot of moisture up here in the desert Southwest and then spreading into the central U.S., the Missouri Ozarks region, and the southern plains, according to the European model. And there is a few inches of rain being advertised on here. The GFS model, a lot more further to the north and has more a closed low pressure system up toward Canada and the international border. That would bring heavier rainfall up even into Manitoba, Ontario, and the upper Midwest, even some areas down here towards the Midwest and Ohio Valley. So there's a little bit of some uncertainty with the exact track and the moisture content with these systems as it hasn't yet developed yet, but we'll keep an eye on it over the next week as this system will be tracking on my videos. If you did enjoy my weather forecast, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll have another video forecast likely out for you tomorrow. Turn on the post notification bell so you are notified for future videos and live streams we do here. Like the video if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, family member, and on social media, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and terrific rest of their Tuesday out there.